You ready, Lance? It's fine.
Call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you for coming to the Switzerland County Council December meeting. Notice everyone's present. First on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the meeting on Wednesday, November 12th.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion from Scott, a second from Patty to approve the minutes. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your hand. Next on the agenda is the 2026 salary ordinance. So we obviously tabled this last month. To my knowledge, nothing has changed as presented as it was last month, correct, Gil?
Yeah, I haven't changed anything. I haven't gotten.
Of course, Garrett updated some of the language on the front page that we discussed last meeting. He explained a little bit of that. Does anybody have any questions about it?
I have a couple concerns, but nothing's gonna change this. Well, one that should change it. Is the 60-cent increase for the highway in that?
It's the 3%, which is part of their 60 cents, not an additional that was talked about, but no.
So that should be in there,
The
right?
60 cents and then the 3% on top of
On
it.
top of it. Why?
Because when it was originally advertised, and then when I gave it to you guys, it was not, that's not what you guys said to do. It said, I was told to do 3% across the board to everyone.
But that was
I
approved to
Was it
start.
voted on? Was it voted on? No, but that's what I was told, and then that's what I sent out to you guys.
That was approved
That
to
was-
start January 1st.
It was already
Yeah.
approved.
The 60
The
cents was
original
approved.
60, the $1.20 that was talked about by the commissioners and the mayor, in the minutes, it was only 60 cents. You could hear it on the tape that Carrie only said 60 cents
To start January 1st.
to start, no, for this year, for 25. And then in January, you would reallocate, you would approve it again. And for 26 budget, it should have been approved. But you guys did not approve that. The full $1.20 was not approved at the
That's
time.
not the way I understood it. And I know
I
the
mean, you
commissioners
can go back
approved it. That's, I agree that,
Yes, they did approve it, but
Yep.
when you guys had your meeting, you only approved 60 cents. Because
plus the 3%.
Yeah,
I'm
we,
talking about earlier this year, the original 60 cents.
Was it April or May?
yeah, in
April,
April.
May, whenever they got it.
It was in April and we approved it to start January 1st.
No, one of them started May 1st.
Yeah,
The first
one of
60
them
cents started May 1st, and that's the one
They
I
only
think that
got,
was.
we only did one. You can go
I
back and listen
I
to the
disagree that we
video.
only did one. And I think,
Do what?
I think we had two in there. I would ask
to
it.
fix it.
The only thing that can be done now is for you guys to do it in January, to do an additional appropriation in January to start the payroll then.
I think we need to do that.
That's what we'll have to do then, because make sure. that-
I mean, that's up to you guys, because you,
Because my understanding
I think it
was
was
the
even
60
said-
cents, the 60 cents was added in April. So whatever that amount was, then that amount was gonna be at 3% on top of it.
okay, that's what they got then, was the 3% on top of the 60 cents, not an additional 60 cents, according to what you just said.
It was 60 cents.
Can we bring you the meeting minutes?
You can bring the minutes, but the minutes don't specifically say $1.20 or 60. Ginny and I spoke about this. When I go back and listen to it, I'm not saying that they don't need it. By all means, give it to them.
We know that.
But you
Yeah.
need to,
It just needs to be approved.
it just needs to be approved. That's all it needs.
I
You
believe,
can't
I
do
believe
it.
that we have, and I hear what you're saying, Gail, but I believe, and I didn't vote for it, but I believe that we motioned this, and I know you're saying we didn't, but the expectation out of the commissioner's approval, the expectation of the highway
Yeah.
is, I believe they're right. That's the way I understood it too. If we're saying we're gonna motion this in January, why do we have to motion it in January? Why don't we motion it now so that when January starts,
January 1 starts.
Because it'll put you over, you can't, it'll be higher than what we advertised.
What was advertised for the 26 budget is already adopted. You guys already adopted that. So you can't go back and add to it now.
Can we approve it and then do an additional appropriation in January? That's my
Yes,
question.
you can.
Jenny, if you have,
What happens when you watch the meeting and you see one thing, but I have minutes that say something different? The meeting minutes as they are.
can you provide us with what you're looking at?
Yeah, I have it. I have a copy for each of it if you'd like.
If you have the minutes, I'd like to see it.
I can read you the minutes, and the minutes say specifically, and I have a copy for each of you. The highway department wage increase was discussion was had about the increase that the commissioners approved. To my way of thinking, that's the $1.20. There was a motion and a vote on that.
Well, that's my fault for not being more specific, but
So which
human is there.
which is right?
Error is human, I guess, but,
Are the minutes, is this the document you wrote by?
or do you go by the
The
verbal?
state dollar.
Now, we
Yeah,
go,
but it
did
says-
we bless those minutes?
Yes.
If we bless those minutes, then the minutes are,
And it says,
I think it was
it
all in
says the
favor.
increase that the commissioners, which was.
And they all were in favor.
so
Yeah.
the verbal on what you're seeing on the recording is moot. This is what this council blessed. That's the way I understood it.
Well, I mean,
Either way, this has to be.
the bottom line,
approved.
the only way to address it is in January.
Yeah.
You can make it retroactive to January 1st,
Yeah.
obviously. So it starts like it would have if
Yeah,
this
you
would
would
have.
do it at your January meeting, your January 9th meeting. And then you can make it retroactive to January 1 payment. Or,
That's fine, but
January
we're not
3rd
taking a vote
payment.
on it. How can you take a vote? We said we were doing this.
you would have to do a vote on the appropriation in
Okay.
January meeting. is what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Well, and kind of, looking back at them, for me, what tricky was that you had that amount that was starting in January 1st. The way it was, supposedly the way this went through, it was started January 1st, but then the amount that they put in for their budget was a different amount. I mean, it was higher than that even. So there was kind of two raises built in together. And I think that, I got tripped up on that. I'd say that's what,
They did their
It-
3%.
they didn't just ask for 6,
60
yeah, it wasn't 60 cents starting January 1st. It was 60 cents plus some additional.
Yes.
Okay, I know we can't take a vote, but your point is very valid that if we do a vote, then we put ourselves over budget now. But with that said, I want to make sure you guys, because I know you're representing the entire highway department. And I don't want them upset for the next 3 weeks. So I'm not asking for a vote, but a simple nod and commitment that we are going to vote on this.
We'll bring it up in January
Oh,
and we'll
we'll
discuss
vote
it.
on it in January.
But it will be, so it will be like
I don't
you're
think we
saying.
have a choice
So
to
it'll
say
be the
this isn't going to pass
2025.
because it's in the meeting minutes that were
The
blessed.
2025 times 3%, then plus a 60 cents. That's how you're saying. That's why you said it got tripped up when the budget was.
Yeah, and there was-
More.
So, there was essentially 3 raises, right? There was
Right.
a 60 cents in May, there was 60 cents to start January 1st, and then they requested above 60 for 2026 also.
Right.
So there've been 3 raises in however many months that is.
Yeah, the $1.20 total was to get us caught up with other highway departments.
Right.
And then we had an additional raise above that,
Yeah.
that we had asked for.
So the 3% that they are getting is equivalent to 67 cents,
Yeah,
right? So, I mean, indirectly, we honored that 60 cents to this point, but I mean, that wasn't,
I think something was even said that you couldn't say you could give them 60 cents and an additional percentage. You,
yeah, I wouldn't do that again. I wouldn't, I don't like voting for raises that begin in the future, because that pins the council in a bad spot if the budget numbers come in and obviously, obviously it didn't go well this time. I wouldn't want to do it again. Just anything we do, I think ought to be active at that time. We vote on it. That's my opinion. Trying to keep it from getting hung up like this again. So but I think January is the time to address it.
And make it retroactive.
Yep, January 1st.
I was gonna say, I wanted to explain why we asked for the increases. I can do that later if you want, later, or I can do that
Jenny,
now.
I think it's probably best if you come to that January 9th meeting.
that's the
Yeah.
first
It's
meeting.
the first meeting of the council,
I can do
and
that.
you can do that. And I
We
feel
can have it.
confident enough to say that you guys can get what you want, but
We can have it on the
you
agenda
can,
for
you
that
can
meeting.
put it on the agenda and speak at that.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you all.
January
The other
14th,
two-
I'm sorry,
Yeah, what is it?
January 14th. I
14.
don't know where I got the 9th at.
The other two things that I looked at here, and they are concerns, but they need to carry over, and we need to do a better job of this. You look at the matron for the sheriff department, and I called the SBOA, and they were kind enough to pass it over to DLGF. There's a rule out there that says the matron can't make more than 50% of the sheriff's salary. Our matron makes more than 50% of the sheriff's salary. And but the rules have changed this year in certain things, and they were going back to clarify. They have not gotten back to me on that. The reason I say we need to look at this, if they get back to me between now and the next meeting, we may have to open this up, because that needs to be justified. The other one is one that more so Kim has been the one that got me interested in it. We have this IT issue here in this county. We have a contracted IT guy, and then we got a person that's over at the sheriff department that makes, with benefits, well over $70,000. And the question that I have is, why? Because if you add the two contracts together, we're paying out $100 and some $1,000. That job over at the sheriff department, which Kim asked Brian, the sheriff, Morton, would you be willing to use your guy? In essence, we could give him an increase, and he does all the IT work. And the response was no, correct, Kim?
Yeah.
Well, now, if you're saying no, we have a budget issue in front of us. And it's one that I think we gotta fess up to and look at, and that's a dual job. And I know that's what this salary ordinance is for, but I don't have enough good information of what that individual over at the sheriff department does, Kim, that applies to what the IT guy here does. I hear he can do anything from what Brian says, but Brian's not willing to share them. So Brian basically coughed up his rights. We got to make a decision as to, do we keep that position or do we merge those positions and remove the contract? And again, those are just concerns. I'm not looking to change that today.
Yeah. I don't know that Brian said no.
He did,
He absolutely said no.
because I asked him
I
if he'd
thought
be
in the
willing.
beginning, when we were talking about this, he was willing to work with us on that.
I thought he looked into it. I thought that.
No. Kim
Brian's
asked
guy
him
was
to
talking
wrap
to
it
our
around.
IT guy.
I point blank asked at the meeting, when we were talking about it, when the budget, we knew the budget was gonna be screwed. And Brian said, no, he was point blank, no, that won't work. And so
We
that's
just
why,
need to
Well, I mean,
eventually merge those two, that job with the courthouse job.
I think that you got to consider security issues too. I mean, not just anybody can go get into the sheriff's server. There's You gotta have certain
So
clearances.
we'd have to
do
have
that.
somebody qualified.
Well, I mean, I just don't think anybody can go over and work on it.
And that's why I said, like, I'm not willing to change that
But if
today,
it's
but I think
That
we're
position
spending,
could do both. It could do county and be right there at the sheriff's department, because it's right there next door.
You gotta find the right person.
we do.
I thought Brian Scott looked into what was going on with the courthouse side and decided that he wasn't gonna take it on for whatever reason. I don't know. I didn't know that Brian
What was
just, I
the-
don't remember Brian just saying no.
Yeah, he said no in the meeting.
What was our expenditures last year for, IT?
Contract
Which way,
services.
contracted
Contracted
services?
services.
He gets paid an hourly, it's not an actual contract.
Does he contract?
I'd have to look
anything out?
up,
But doesn't the contract
It
say
went.
up to like 41,000?
no, he never signed anything, or he never signed anything.
So it's just hourly.
They agreed to an hourly.
So then we need to know what our contracted services were last year to get real numbers, not just, before we start merging and cutting, we need to see what we're doing, and how much we're saving.
I feel,
I
I'm
can
with
tell
you,
you
Kim, that I
tomorrow
feel
what
like
we
it's a
pay.
redundant job, but there's not enough information on both sides
Yeah,
to
I
say.
don't
Yeah, I think we
We
do
I don't know what
information
both
gathering.
do, so I can't really say for sure. I don't know what both do. But I just think that as a county, we need a dedicated IT person.
I agree. That was my own two things, guys.
Anybody else have anything?
Gail, I do appreciate you sending us the 2025, 2026 columns to be able to look at.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the salary ordinance.
I second the
Motion
motion.
from Patty, second from Carrie to approve the salary ordinance, which Gail has listed as ordinance number 15 on this sheet, as presented. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous? All right. Okay, next on the agenda, we have two grant fund appropriations. I sent it's the October fund balance sheet, 59,715 in that fund. That's still the same, isn't it, Gail?
Yeah.
So the first one is the Lifetime Resources. They were approved for $15,000 by the commissioners. And Aaron's here.
Yep.
Anybody's got any questions for Aaron, or just,
Aaron, did you come in front of council in 2023?
Yes.
Okay,
So the council has been supporting Lifetime Resources for many, many years. So we're in our 50th year of service this year, as you saw in your application, or sorry, in my letter there. And yeah, the council's been supporting us for many years. So I've come down on an annual basis and spoken with you all.
okay, so first, this is the way this grant's supposed to work. This is exactly the way it's supposed to work. Your detailed information here, all that's great. The reason I asked about 2023, I went back to our notes, and in that meeting, you asked for $15,000.
Yeah.
And we granted you 10,000.
Mhm.
And at that point in time, the council requested that in the area of total number of individuals served by county and in the donation area, that you tell us the donations of the other counties surrounding us. Because
Mhm.
what we found in 2023 was we were the biggest givers, yet, and it looks like it's the same way again compared to what I looked at in
Yeah.
2023. I mean, Dearborn's at 1321. Now, I have called a couple of them. So
So
I think for the benefit of
Yeah,
the
no.
council here, that some 4 of the members on this council, this is their first time walking through Lifetime.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, and again, we're actually a little down from where we were last time, but it's at 230. Your total number of
Individuals served,
Mhm.
correct, yeah.
And so when I look at the list of other counties, and again,
Mhm.
you did it. This is what we need. This is the detail. This is everything that we were supposed to be getting.
Yeah, I believe I followed up with a table that
You
showed
did.
you all of the funding amounts. And if you look at Dearborn County, for example, you're not going to see a line item like you do with Switzerland County because we actually receive revenue sharing directly. And so you're not going to see a line item there for Dearborn County. And some of the amounts that we request from other counties, it's not just based on the individual served, but it's based on there's obviously a whole host of services, everything from information assistance, case management, in-home services, the health and wellness programs, transportation, all of those things. And it takes into account the, percentage of service that we're providing in each county, as well as the gap in funding that's required. And so in some counties, there are other sources that are filling some of those gaps. So it's really just, there's definitely variations in the need per county. It's not just based on individual service, if that makes sense.
Does make sense. My issue, and I know the commissioners brought it up too, is we have an issue within our casino revenue.
Yeah.
My personal comment here is, I think, again, we've always given you've asked for 15.
Yeah.
And it looks like we've been steady with 10. And now with this in front of us, yes, there's money in the kitty, but we have to protect that money too. So my thought is it's hard for me to acknowledge with what we have in front of us to take care of our operating expenses that are going to hit. The 15, in my opinion, to the council should probably be about 7,500. And it has nothing to do
Yeah.
with what
No,
you
and
turned
yeah.
in a great.
Yeah,
this
no,
is-
and
this is
I completely
fantastic
respect
work.
that. I know that you guys are looking at ways to cut back and things like that. There's a couple of things I want to point out to you, just in terms of, if you're considering funding Lifetime versus another organization, for example, things like that. I just want to point out a couple of things. Our county budget is just under $360,000 for Switzerland County alone. And the majority of the funding that we receive comes from state and federal sources. And then we do collect client, fares, for example, on Catch a Ride, or where it's allowable, we do charge for our services. It's not always allowable, but sometimes, depending on people's income level, they could provide a cost share for services and things like that. So we are looking to get payment from individuals who are receiving those services where the funding allows. Sometimes eligibility for the programs means that we're not able to charge a fare for a fee for those services. Like I said, you do have about 230 individuals that were served last year. And just to kind of summarize that, 109 received information and assistance, 172 received case management services, 28 residents are receiving ongoing in-home services that are funded by our organization. We served over 2,700 meals, and we provided more than 1,800 trips as well. And so that's a lot of, a huge variety of services that you're receiving. And the funding that you provide helps us actually draw down the amount of federal and state funds that we need to adequately serve this area, because those local funds are a requirement of multiple funding sources that we have. So for example, Catch a Ride requires 100% match, and that as you can imagine, a rural public transit service is just expensive, just in general. I understand your position. I just wanted to kind of point out a few key things, and happy to
You have,
answer any additional
there is a
questions.
question then.
Sure.
You have on your last page here with the
Yep.
pie graph.
Mhm.
You presented the Switzerland County, it's 4.21.
% of our overall budget, yeah.
So it's that percentage. So at 15,000, what percentage is that?
That is the 4.2%
Is that just the
of the
council?
360,000.
Okay,
is
so
our
if I
budget
look
for
at this
Switzerland
other
County.
sheet and I say, when we say Switzerland County,
Mhm.
I kind of took it that 4.21% wasn't just what council was gonna approve. I was looking at it, the town of Vivi gives you money, so that's
They
outside.
they do as well, that's
So
outside of that.
That's outside of this?
So are the numbers counted in Switzerland County though?
No.
Not in this pie chart is showing what you
Gotcha.
as Switzerland, as,
Well, that's what I'm
As
asking,
the-
because
Then,
the 230 people, it's nobody that lives in Beatty.
no,
that encompasses all of the county.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought. So
yeah.
the 230 includes
yeah,
the town
but
too.
my point is, I was looking at this and saying, okay, the foundation gives money, that's Switzerland County. Town of Vivi gives money, that's Switzerland County. What that's representing is what we're giving, and so our percentage of giving is
It's
even
actually
higher.
bigger.
So you can see
So I'm
here,
not feeling bad about
Yeah.
now saying,
What did,
so you can see here, the federal and state is 304,000. Other locally produced income is 30,940. There's nothing, so we also get support from the community foundations and things like that, for example, but generally, we're saving our requests from them to help us replace vehicles. They are not supporting our ongoing operations, nor do we come and
So
ask
that's
you for
more
vehicles.
capital.
Yeah, and so that's why it, our opportunities to go for, other sources is somewhat limited because we're already sort of tapping out those other resources. And just to give you an idea, the cost to replace a small transit vehicle in 2020 was $50,700. It's now $139,000. It went up 175%.
and that's even a better, that's
So-
even a better answer, because the grant is very clear.
Yeah.
That it has to be for public service. So your
Mhm.
public service that you're using our money for is for this sheet here.
Right.
That covers home community care, catch a ride,
Mhm.
Century services and housing.
There, so it covers, yes.
Yeah, that's what
None of what you're providing goes into
Right,
our
so
housing
you're not
programs, but we
using-
do provide
because-
housing, yeah. That's where.
according to the document, the grant,
Mhm.
you can't use funds for organizational operational expenses.
Well,
So
it's
you're
$55,000,
not,
like
and I'm just pointing that out, that
65?
if you would have told me
Yeah.
that you were using that for your cars and stuff, well, that's an operational cost. Okay. I
$65
appreciate
and
So you
25
guys didn't receive anything in 24?
I don't think we
From us.
received anything in 23 or 24.
In the last-
Maybe it's
I
24 and
had
24 and 25 thus far, I think is
Right,
what it is.
okay. And what you did receive in 23 was 10, not 15. Yeah, it's been almost 2 years. I'm okay with 15,000. It's $65 a person that you're helping.
Yeah.
In the
that's what I'm
community.
looking for, 'cause I'm-
The
I'm fine with it.
25, you did receive something, but it was from the Health First Fund. Didn't you guys make a donation, Kathy? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Anybody have any questions for Aaron?
Just because
The only thing I
that was
didn't add
asked
is,
of me.
I know the 4-H is gonna be looking for additional grant funding.
So just to make sure, I had to ask Gail.
Hang on a minute. Scott's got.
I'm sorry.
I just want to say, 4-H is gonna be looking for additional grant funding, and I'm not against the 15, but maybe think about
I go for
how much do we want to spend to maybe save some back for 4-H or other entities.
I mean, 4-H, I mean, it's already December 10th, December 9th, so I assume
Yeah, I
they'll be
don't-
coming first of the year, or
Yeah, it'd be a next year thing.
So I'd asked Gail for the numbers for this, in 20, and she presented these back to me. 9,000 was granted in 2021. 12,005 in 2022.
Yeah.
12,005 in 2023.
Okay.
And 5,000 in 2025. So we didn't give you in 2024, but that's the equal of the time that I'm looking at. I'm saying 7,500. And I know the approved request out of the commissioners is 15. If we're looking for a motion to go either way.
Well, does anybody else have any questions for Aaron before we?
Just to clarify, that didn't come out, that 5,000 didn't come out of casino.
I was gonna say that, I don't recall that.
Health
That's the
first.
health first.
Yeah, it came out of health first.
Yeah, that was specific
Just
to a chronic disease self-management program that we were doing.
I knew there was something.
Yeah.
Just so everyone's.
Yeah.
aware.
Anybody else have anything for Aaron?
I just want to say, I appreciate your support, and I also fully, respect what you guys are going through and everything like that, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to grant $10,000 to Lifetime Resources.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion from Todd and a second from Scott to appropriate $10,000 to Lifetime Resources from the grant fund. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous? All right.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Do I need to sign this sheet?
Yeah. Down at the bottom. On the top of that page, you can mark out the 15 and put the 10, or I did on mine too, whichever.
Okay. I was gonna ask if there's, I didn't know if there was a box, like if somebody applies for 50 grand to the commissioners, but they only approve 30, like this, you can see what they originally requested, but then a box that says what was approved, maybe somewhere on there.
No,
Maybe that's something we can add next year, so,
Yeah.
so when we get it, we know what the commissioners did. Okay. The next one is the grant fund appropriation for YMCA.
Lance, I'd like to ask for discussion just with council on this one. And here's my reasoning. This grant request is completely different because it's a reapplication. And I sent all of you an email that giving you a suggestion that you look at the grant process and the agreement. And so for history's sake, so that we all understand this, we got dinged for not having a grant application and an approved grant agreement by the county. Now, the SBOA came in this year, they've already reviewed it, and they said, this is fantastic. The commissioners had Garrett put this whole thing together in May, end of April, early May. The commissioners approved the grant application. In June, they approved the agreement. We ended up now with a hot potato on our hands. And the reason I say that is this: if you looked at the agreement, you're catching it too. If you're not, or haven't, let me share it with you. The first highlighted sentence says, whereas the organization has submitted an application for funding which includes a detailed description of the public services to provide and the amount of funding requested. Gail was asked at the commissioners meeting, have we received a brand new application? You responded, no, I have not.
no, we got this one.
3 times during that meeting, the application question came up, but nobody addressed it. No one.
Which meeting was this?
This was the commissioners meeting.
Commissioners meeting.
Last Monday.
So if you go to number 5 below, Grant put it in there just as the state requires, the reapplication for additional funding. The organization may submit a new application for additional funding at any time. Any such request shall include an updated description of the proposed services, the amount of additional funds requested, and accounting of all prior funds received prior under this or any other previous agreement. The approval of any additional funding is subject to the same evaluation and appropriation procedures set forth in this agreement and applicable to all county policies. Now, signed by the YMCA, signed by the commissioners. This is supposed to have a brand new application. This is not a brand new application. But if you look at, you see that little arrow there, you have to go back to that second bullet. Now what's supposed to happen? The report shall include an itemized accounting of expenditures and a narrative summary of services provided, number of individuals served, and a measurable outcome for the achievement. Watching that whole commissioner meeting, can you provide us with the detailed accounting and the receipts from the original funds?
Given.
Did they supply you? Did the YMCA supply you with it? That's an operational budget. You can't do operational budget because in the actual grant,
Has to be
it
done.
clearly says
Yeah.
this grant cannot be used for operational expenses. I'll step into that we made a mistake on giving the first 30 because we weren't prepared. That 30 went out and we shouldn't have done it. It was for the same as this grant, an elevator to pay for wages and salaries. That's not public service, guys. But we're not getting into that, what we already did. This should not be in front of us.
So is this an
For
error?
whatever-
Commissioners?
The commissioners need to have this
Kick
taken,
it
we
back
need to
down.
kick it back to them and tell them to follow through on this. They did
I
not
don't
approve.
know. I guess the part, I don't know that this is additional funding.
This is the only one that I have.
I don't know if this would qualify as additional funding.
It does qualify for additional funding.
Because their original request was never completely
No.
fulfilled.
We didn't have the money for the
Well, that's- I mean, that's what
60,000.
I mean. I read this as if they asked for 50 and we gave them 50,
No,
and then they come back and ask for more, that to
No,
me is a
because
reapplication of additional.
They-
funding.
you're right, Lance,
Yeah.
on that part.
Right, but I'm just
there.
saying, if they didn't get what they requested, because of whatever reasons, if they come back and ask for the remaining, I don't know, to me, if that qualifies. I mean, I guess it'd be a question for Garrett. If
Well. I
that's
think-
not really additional funding. Additional funding would be if we gave them everything they asked for, and they came back and asked for more
That was
later.
kind of asked in a roundabout way at the commissioners meeting.
Okay.
But
This
here
was the
regardless,
original
it's still
request.
not
They were,
supposed to be for capital.
No, because the funding request of the agreement, this line here, and guys, my bad. I've already run this up the chain to the state. That funding agreement right there where it says 30,000, that stops with that first grant. Done. That's why there is a reapplication put in here. And under the reapplication, you have the opportunity to come to us, but it has to be a brand new application. This application is dated back in May. It doesn't qualify. Other than that, you could say, let's
Hold on.
leave that alone. But here's the issue now. We are supposed to receive we're the oversight. The commissioners were supposed to receive a detailed explanation of every dollar spent. Every dollar with receipts.
Of the 30.
That hasn't, so that's two strikes. We should not be going forward with any appropriation comments because this is an adopted process by the county. This is what the SBOA looked at. It hasn't been fulfilled. And it's not just the commissioners. Both parties signed this. Both parties didn't meet the requirements. So I'm going to make a motion that right now, I'm making the motion, this gets kicked back to the commissioners and they figure out their hot potato. We are oversight, we did the job. I don't know whether you folks are seeing this for the first time tonight, but
Well-
the difficulty is, that's the rule.
We can table this and have Garrett take a look at it. I don't have a problem with that. See if there's something.
I don't think it's Garrett taking a look at it.
He's our
Garrett can
county, he's our county attorney, and if there's issues with the state.
You're right.
This is where I got a problem. I'm the president of this board. If there's something going on that needs to be ran up to the state, why am I not involved?
I don't have to
What?
involve you.
You don't represent the
Every one of us
council.
we speak
You
one
can,
voice.
yes, you can,
All
but I should
seven
be
of us are
involved.
separate.
If this board
Your
needs to do
only
something,
role-
I should be involved and be made aware of it.
No, it never states the president is in charge of
We got a-
anything.
We got
You
a
are-
motion to.
Show me
table
where it
this.
says that, Lance. Make your comments. Tell me where it says that the president, your job
Want a
is
motion tabled?
to bring
Matt,
Second.
I hear
just
you.
made a statement that is a falsehood.
I'll make.
That is fake news.
I'll make a motion. to
I
table.
got a motion for Todd to table this in a second.
From Carrie. Table it.
We should.
Well, I had the first motion.
All those in favor? Hold on.
I had the first
You didn't
motion.
make a
Okay.
motion.
You did.
And my motion was to kick this back to the commissioners and let them work it out with Garrett.
And table it. So yes, Matt made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that. Because I do think that since the commissioners and the YMCA
This
signed
is not
this,
our problem, guys.
they need to look at this with Gary, because it's not.
Not us.
So I got a motion from Matt, a second from Kim to table this. All those in favor, raise your hand.
We got this
Opposed?
right away.
Unanimous. Okay, we have a Park and Recreation Board seat opening.
Are there any other applications for any of the other openings?
No,
No.
not that you guys are responsible
Gail,
for.
isn't there two boards that have to be filled before they can even have their first meeting of the year? One's
The,
alcohol and tobacco, right?
usually the alcohol, yeah,
Is there a,
I haven't got any applicants for that. I was gonna call the two people that are on there and see if they wanna button up again. I don't know what
Carrie,
else to
didn't you
do.
say something about the economic
Sarah.
development?
Yes.
But can a council
No
person
one's
be
on
on that board?
It was on there, it was on the economic development, that there was 2 council positions for the economic development.
But can it be a council person? I
If
guess?
there's not necessarily a council person,
We're
though.
in the council last
But it
year.
can be, right?
I don't know that you could.
Yeah,
That was one of the things that you,
that's what I thought. That's why I'm asking.
they told you no, right? Is that what you're saying? that
Yeah,
you were on
I
board?
got elected to council, I just said that I couldn't be on. re-
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't know if that's
but I don't know why.
accurate, but
It's a paid
Well-
position.
no.
No.
Read
it
about
seems like there was 2 of them. I know alcohol and tobacco is one that can't form unless they have a full board. But there's,
What about property tax and assessment board of appeals?
PSO, no. There may not even.
Okay, so we have one application for the, this is the Park and Recreation Board seat. So we had a we had a resignation earlier this year, so this is filling that seat for representing the council. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, Lance.
Motion from Patty, second from Scott to approve the application of Leah Thomas to the Park and Recreation Board seat. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
You have a copy of that application, Lance,
Yes.
because I think you have to sign the back of it. No, so, I don't see it.
Oh, this is a application didn't have it on
Appointment
By
by-
council,
there. Oh,
Oh, down at the bottom?
yeah,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
appointment
I-
by,
Advertise these, I don't know, I put them in the paper. I don't know if you want me to put them in Dearborn County too. Sarah just handed me one, and this one we've had on file for a minute, and I got one other one for the health department, but
but they need to be
you
in the
guys
county,
don't
right?
appoint that.
They have to be county
Yeah, they have
residents.
to be county residents.
Yeah, but. we
So it's
all
like
have
Where
county,
else-
not
to
where
out of
else-
advertise.
paper. Yeah.
Where all is it posted, or where is it advertised?
Madison, the website, and then I put it on Facebook as well.
Repost it on Facebook, you
What's that?
make a new post on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay.
It was tiny, hard to read it on there.
We just keep posting it.
Or make
Yeah,
the
no,
font
I don't,
giant. Needed. I know a lot of people are getting the.
I mean,
We-
plus you
Gallup
guys will
County
have to
paper
make
now.
your appointments to the
They are.
board that you're gonna sit on as well. Well, you got one that you already here.
Okay. So yeah, we'll just, keep it on Facebook, and I guess if we still don't have any, maybe in January, we can look, see if we need to advertise somewhere else. We've never advertised like Dearborn County before, have we?
No, I think, for the tax sale they did, that was recommended there, but
Gallup County's not much to advertise in, and a lot of people pick up the paper in Warsaw when they go across the bridge or at Building marathon.
So
They
we
keep
can,
it in the newspaper, they keep a copy of the newspaper, Galvin County newspaper there at the library as well.
Idea.
so the commissioners requested that we have 2 council members join their county handbook committee. I think from what Ryan was saying, they're wanting to get together in January. Go over some of the handbook and review it, I guess. And I believe it's Ryan and Gail, and it'd be 2 council members, I think is my understanding. So I'll open the floor for, we have 2 openings, so open the floor for nominations, I guess.
I'd nominate Patty and Carrie for that.
Okay. Patty, you okay with that?
I'm good.
Okay. Harry, you okay with that? Any other nominations? We just vote on them together. So for Patty and Carrie to be on the handbook committee. All those in favor, raise your hand. All right.
Unanimous.
Board reports.
I like
I don't have it.
No.
None.
Anybody? Board reports. We don't meet till January for the announcement. Okay. Next meeting is January 14th.
And I know I will not be at that meeting.
Okay.
We will be doing an auction in Alabama.
Oh, okay, so you're out,
I'm out of state.
out the week, out that whole week.
I could do it the week prior, but I couldn't do it that week.
Wait, so that's for January?
Yeah.
So you want to have a full board for the first board meeting because
What's the,
you're
is
voting on
it
officers.
reorganization?
I'm sorry?
Is it reorganization? When is the commissioners meeting?
Their meetings are on the 1st and 3rd Mondays.
So
Okay,
their
so-
meeting would be on the 5th.
So we can do it after their meeting on the 5th.
Yeah, I could do
You do the first Wednesday,
the 7th.
the 7th?
I can do the
Second?
7th, I can't do the 8th, but I can do the 7th.
I can definitely do the 7th.
You do the 7th, Todd? Scott?
Oh, yeah, it's not.
Okay. So our next meeting will be Wednesday, January 7th.
Can you let the highway department know so they don't think we
Yeah.
just tried to?
Oh, their eyes, tried to skip them out.
All right, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Somebody make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Carrie made a motion,
I'll second.
Kim was
There
second.
we go.
All those in favor? We're adjourned.
You.
Yeah, we got asked to do a huge auction in Alabama, so Sean and Tricia might want to go going down the 2nd of January. And so I gotta fly down the week of our meeting. To do all the information before the auction happens on the 15th.
Commissioners.
Just like,
Truly.
why?
They're 100%.
Yeah.
No,
I
It was the neighbors.
Did everything.
Mom just messaged, I'm fine, didn't see ambulance, what time is your?
Carrie, can you help me
Tammy's
make sure I
vomiting
get
blood
this,
on the way to the hospital.
because we need to,
Rod's got.
Are we still rolling?
yeah.
Rod's got to see it.
Yeah, thank you. I
Instrument,
kept texting her, she keeps her damn phone on
and
silent.
permission to approach.